right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. So great to see all of you. Whew, I feel under pressure. I was watching that Washington Monument video. I was thinking, this is so great. I don't think I can top this. And then Tony comes up here and gives his testimony, and I just had to come to the conclusion that I can't top these things. So, but I do have something that I want to share with you today. So, was actually this whole week kind of mulling over what I would like to share. What was it that God wanted me to share this week? And last night came around, and I didn't have a whole lot coming together for me. So, but then I was like, well, I got to get started. So I just opened up the Word document and I wrote sermon 9/11. And I thought, oh, tomorrow's 9/11. And it just kind of brought a bunch of flashbacks from, 15 years ago to me. And remembering, what happened on that morning, and remembering you always remember where you were and how you found out, and the shock that you go through. And I realized that before that day, I had never heard the word terrorism used. I was 16. I didn't know what that meant. As a 16-year-old, I was shocked to learn that there were people out there who religiously hated America and Americans and wanted to kill them. And even though we ourselves haven't faced an event on that scale since then, there are still many difficulties, many acts of terrorism around the world. And just in the Middle East and in North Africa, there's been tens of thousands of deaths because of that just this year. So thinking about these kind of realities that our world faces, it can be easy for me to feel like a sense of helplessness or loss of control, or what is the world coming to? What is going on? But that's really like a dark spiral to get caught up in. But if I step back from just my own fears or my own personal experience with what's going on in the world, and if I step back and I look from God's perspective, or from true parents' perspective, then there's so much that I can learn. And I realize that God and true parents have been teaching us this whole time. It's not anything new. The answer has always been there. Then reflecting back on my life, and thinking about how have I been educated about the world? How have I been educated on conflict resolution? How have I been educated on bringing peace? And I was thinking back to, I don't know how many of you guys attended the Million Family March. Actually, yeah, it happened on the Washington Mall, just where Father gave his Washington Monument speech. I was actually living with I spent a semester with my cousins up in upstate New York at the time that took place. And that was 2000? Oh my gosh, a long time ago. But we took a bus down to attend the Million Family March. And the Million Family March was an event that was hosted by the Nation of Islam. And it was supported by and co-organized by our movement and the families in our faith. And not knowing much about the tensions between Islam and Christianity and Americans at that time, I don't think I truly understood what an impact that it would have later on in my life, because there are a lot of differences between the people who were attending that rally, but they were all there to focus on the family and to bring God at the center of our families, and therefore bring God back into America. Also in 2002, I participated in Service for Peace. That was a summer down in Florida, actually. And I spent 2 weeks down there, and we were, painting schools and doing different kinds of service projects, and what else were we doing? Playing at the beach. But, oh yeah, I'm doing food bank things. But one of the families that we were organizing and working together with was a Muslim family. And for some reason I just kept getting paired up with projects with this family. It was so nice. The mother was so like loving and supportive. Her daughter was just a little bit younger than me. And she just like latched onto me and liked me so much. I couldn't help but be like, oh, I love these people. They're so nice. And it was during the summertime, and I was actually going to miss I was going to spend my birthday there. And when my friend found out that I was going to be having my birthday away from my family, then the next time she showed up to an event, she had a big old present wrapped up with bows and tissue paper and everything. And she's like, "This is for you. Happy birthday!" And nobody else thought about my birthday, but this girl did. And I was really just moved because this wasn't a person that I had any history with. It wasn't somebody that I would normally have a common interest in or a common base with. But we were brought together with this common purpose to make a difference by serving people with a vision for peace. And that was enough to help us to love each other and for her to like take me into her family. So when I think about these kind of experiences, then the word unity really comes to mind for me. What I've learned from Reverend Moon and from the Divine Principle is that unity can happen when there's a common goal or a common purpose when God is at the center. And I think for many people, we hear the word unity and we're like, yeah, that's great, but I don't know if it can ever really happen. I know this person and this person. I just don't see that happening. I just don't see that as a foreseeable future. Or I know this race and this race, and I don't see them coming together anytime in the near future. Or this religion and this religion. And it can seem daunting because just on their own, there wouldn't be. There is no common ground in what seems like. It seems like there's no common ground between certain people, certain races, and certain religions. But what we forget is that what Tony was talking about, all those circles, right? The four-position foundation, the very basis for existence and multiplication and lineage and future, everything. The basis for everything is that God manifests himself into different entities that resemble him. And they're different. They're not two entities that look exactly the same. God manifests himself in different entities. So on their own, there wouldn't be any common base. There wouldn't be any reason for them to come together. But because God is their parent, because God is the center, because God is the origin, when those two entities can recognize that, then there's almost nothing keeping them apart. And then out of the union of those two separate and different entities comes a result, comes something new that is an even better reflection and manifestation of God. And that's really the beauty of unity. That's like the feeling that I got in my relationship with my friend down in Florida. I think the feeling that people got when they were at Washington Monument. People from all over the country and all different races came together and heard about God. And out of that became so much energy and so much inspiration. So this is, unfortunately though, we kind of lost that center. This isn't working. Oh, there we go. So tragically, the universe lost its center when human beings fell. This is why St. Paul wrote that the creation has been groaning in travail while longing for the children of God. So the reason we are in today's situation is because of the breakdown of this basic foundation. But what I also get from this quote, the creation has been groaning in travail while longing for the children of God. So while everything can seem overwhelming, while the situation in the world can seem out of control or discouraging or like there's no hope, this quote gives us a clue in itself. Longing for the children of God. What is the missing link? What is it that's needed? We need the children of God. Who are the children of God? Is it the president? Of course, he's a child of God. But, is it other people out there? No, we are the children of God. What comes to mind to me is that, be the change that you want to see in the world. This is another quote from the Divine Principle. Human beings are created to be the center of harmony of the whole cosmos. If Adam and Eve had attained perfection and united as husband and wife, it would have meant the joining into oneness of the two centers of the dual characteristics of all beings. Had Adam and Eve moved together in harmony and attained oneness, the whole cosmos with its dual characteristics would have danced in harmony. The place where Adam and Eve become perfectly one in heart and body as husband and wife is also the place where God, the subject partner giving love, and human beings, the object partners returning beauty, become united. This is the center of goodness where the purpose of creation is filled. There, God, our parent, draws near and abides within his perfected children and rests peacefully for eternity. So, when I take the world situation and I step back out of my own fears, my own reactions and impulses to it, and I look from God's perspective, it's actually quite empowering that God chooses us to make a difference in our own life, to unite our mind and our body, to unite between husband and wife and create a family. And this is the source of the solution. It's not the whole solution. Of course, we need laws, we need treaties, we need structures in place. But if we only had those structures in place, what if we were able to create all the laws that were necessary to protect the environment and prevent war and keep people from killing each other? What if all the countries at war were to sign peace treaties? But if we still have the wounds in our heart, if we still can't create peace between husband and wife, then is that going to solve the problem? It's not. So it has to start within us, and I feel like that is a very empowering message that God and true parents have given to us. So what can we do? I'd say first it starts within our own self, with our mind and our body. And then I think, oh my gosh, I've been working on this. It's pretty hard though. How can we ever unite our mind and our body? But it's the same answer as between uniting people. To have unity, we have to have God at the center. We have to have a common goal, a greater purpose. For example, when I was training for the MR340, that huge kayak race across Missouri, when I had decided to do that race, I had no muscle. I had been just running around after my kids for the last 4 or 5 years. I hadn't run a mile in probably 10 years. And here I was saying I was going to go on a 340-mile kayak race, nonstop. And so if I had just looked at the things that I had to do, I've got to do these push-ups, I've got to run this many miles, I've got to, I've got to paddle this many miles in my kayak, this many times a week, then I would have thought, there's no way. I can't do that. But the thing was, I had a greater purpose. I had a goal that was exciting to achieve. And that pulled me together. It gave me the power I needed to do what I needed to do, to tell my brain, to tell my body to do these things. And we did it. Because of a greater purpose, something that was bigger than just the individual push-ups and the individual miles to run. So something that can seem really far off and unattainable is often much closer than we think. Also, reach out and love a neighbor. That's what I learned from the Million Family March and Service for Peace. If you create foundations based on love, you create relationships centered on God, and goodness will result. I wonder, if throughout history, if Christians had been loving Muslims and serving them and being good neighbors to them, would the terrorists be able to turn around and attack, I have a story of one pastor that I know very well in our community, in our family, connected to me, and he used to live in a very scary neighborhood in Maryland. And everybody's like, why are you moving there? Don't live there, that's dangerous. People are going to rob you and hurt you. But he went in with open arms, he went with open doors. He was always having the neighborhood kids over to eat. He would take them on camping trips a few times a summer and just express love and serve them with everything that he did. And he never locked his doors. Everybody else in this neighborhood was locking their doors, and for good reason, but he never locked his doors, and he never had a problem because he was loving and serving his neighbors with God's love. And most importantly, I feel like love in our families. So, as this one says, as the divine principle says, and reiterated, human beings are created to be the center of harmony of the whole cosmos. If Adam and Eve had attained perfection and united as husband and wife, it would have meant the joining into oneness of the two centers of the dual characteristics of all beings. It's not just you and your husband. It's not just you and your wife. You represent everything. God created everything around you. You are a microcosm of everything. Had Adam and Eve moved together in harmony and attained oneness, the whole cosmos with its dual characteristics would have danced in harmony. So I really believe that every ill and pain of this world is just a result, like an outward expression of the ills and pains in the hearts of people and in our families. Because our minds and bodies are not united, and husbands and wives are not united. It may seem naive to think that the problems and wounds in this world could be fixed by healing the wounds in our hearts and families. However, I fail to see how it's possible if we don't. So never underestimate the power that you possess. God created us to be the co-creators. It's in each one of us. And no matter how difficult it may seem to achieve unity, no matter how big the task may seem, I really believe the answer is much closer than it may appear when we bring God into our lives, when we bring God as the center. Thank you very much.
So first off, Youngville is organizing a hike and ice cream on September 17th. Please speak with Youngville if you'd like to know more about it.
It'll be at
Roxborough State Park is the location. So we're also celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Washington Monument Rally, possibly why we saw that video. This coming Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. There will be a Korean dinner with testimonies, pictures, and a video. Please see Pastor Mike if you would like to be going, or if you'd like to come. So there will be a Japan night Saturday, October 8th with sushi, karaoke, and the overall Japanese culture. Please see Hisaka-san if you'd like to know more about it. 6 to 8. Also, 6 to 8 on October 8th. Also, Pastor Mike has a special announcement.
Yeah, I really hope as many of you can come to the Washington Monument celebration as possible. Even if you weren't, attending, even if you weren't physically there, everyone's welcome to come, have a nice meal, and just really an opportunity to remember and celebrate that great victory and everything that went into making it possible. And I think it'll be really nice. And also I just want to recognize once again Jim and Linda Howell for, they just took a big step to move and from their home where they lived for 18 years, you said? Long time. To come here to Colorado. So we really want to make them feel like a part of the community, and we have a cake and ice cream downstairs to celebrate. So yeah, everyone enjoy that. Absolutely. Yes. Give a round of applause. On that note, I am officially cleared to make another special announcement about another family that's moving here to Colorado. Some of you may know the Fleischer family. Their oldest son, Gilo, and his wife and daughter are moving here on October 3rd. Yes. So I'm really excited about that and our growth in our community. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
All right, as you all know, we still need your help. So if you'd like to volunteer for one of these things, please let either Pastor Mike or Pastor Adonia know. And next week we have David and Ella Hotel cleaning, the Okada family ushering, and the Hendrick family cooking. All right, I'd like to now welcome up the music ministry for our final song.